Hello and welcome to Keilah Reads. I'm going to read some poetry to you today and also have a couple of lists of items of songs and poems that I found to be very touching that I'd like to share. I also found a poem that my mother wrote, so I'm going to start with that tonight. And we have Mr. Ninja sitting here beside me. Say hi, Ninja. Hi. Okay. So, my mother, Janice Kay Houchins, wrote this poem in around 1980, I would say. It's called Tomb of Night. Cloak of black magic, tomb of night, my trusted companion, hold me tight. Look on me in favor with star-studded eyes. Caress my fevered brow with your cooling sighs. The morrow is jealous of our love affair, afraid of losing me forever, envious of time we share. Cloak of black magic, tomb of night, I await thee in trembling delight. And here's a little piece of paper that she wrote it on that I've kept in my little box of treasures, of little paper treasures that I've had for quite some time. I need to figure out a way to keep those, maybe scan it into something so I can keep it. Here's a poem I wrote called The Whisper of the Wind. I don't know if I've shared this one before or not. I may have. The whisper of the wind is the moan of a lover, calling back the fire of every lost caress. The swaying of the willow is the shudder of his sighing, the ripple on the wave a gentle kiss. The sweetness of each flower, whose nectar is his wine, has maddened him to senseless, ever searching the divine. So his soul is lost to passion, so his heart is all aflame at the mention of his lover or the sighing of her name. Ah, to have a love like that. Now we're going to go ahead into April of '95, but first I'll show you a picture here. Let's see if I can get that in front of the camera right, without the light shining too much on it. That was me in all my glory at the age of 29, receiving an award. And as you can see, I was always a little chunky. I got even chunkier than that, so not exactly the ideal partner for romance in the United States of America. April 25th, 1995, Insecurity, which was a year and a couple of months after that, so I would have been 30. Today, my insecurity lies quietly like a dog on the hearth, asleep by the fire. Its belly is full from the sight of you, so it's chosen to temporarily retire. It does not desire my heart at the moment, it only twitches in dreams and moans. It is yet but peaceably sleeping, but when it wakes it will gnaw at my bones. I know him well, that dog, Insecurity, how well we both know each other, for he is my constant companion each time I would dare take a lover. Each time my foolish heart jumps up in the hope that someone might care. Each time I reach out with my heart in my hand, he knows it and he is there. To make sure I remember the pitfalls and all of the failures before, he makes sure I am never forgetful of the hazards that might lay in store. And yet each time I've been with you, I am filled with a strange kind of peace, even though at the same time you excite me to feeling the need for release. And though I tremble when I touch you, I feel so safe in your company, as if the world could disappear and it would not trouble me. And then when you've departed and gone back to your life and your home, I know you've already forgotten. I know that I'm truly alone. And that's when that dog Insecurity raises up from his fireside bed and again makes a meal of my mortal heart, filling my soul up with dread. And away goes the sweet dreams of fantasy. Away goes that brief moment of hope, and I'm dashed to the rocks by practicality, floundering and trying to cope. And here's one that I shared before, and I'm going to share again, because it bears repeating. August 30th, 1995. So, why did I write all this stuff? Well, this is my form of therapy, medicine for my soul, a balm, if not salvation, an emotional control, a refuge from the insanity, The unfairness, pain, and hurt I find with pen and paper, I find with written word. I pour my heart out to you and hide it safe away. I cry, I sigh, I'm angry, just words upon a page. And then some other tomorrow down the road I'll look back and see how much it's done to damage the inner heart of me. How much this love has cost me, if that's what it should be. How much do I have left now in the inner heart of me? Luckily, the heart's a resilient organ, critter, whatever you want to call it. So far, despite all the scars, I've still managed to continue to love and to be able to love. And that was a hard lesson for me to get past the fact that sometimes loving doesn't mean that person's going to love you back. Well, you know what? That's okay. That's their loss. The love was free. And as long as you keep putting love out there, someday it'll come back to you. That's my belief. And here's a poem I wrote November 28th, 2000. But this was written for my lost love who passed away at a very young age. I actually shared a photo on my Google+. His name was Neil Ray Gaunts. And he died at the age of 23, way too young. Very talented young man. He wrote poetry, he wrote music, he played music, he was an artist. He had just graduated college, and still makes me sad to this day. And that was 1987. You never really did believe that I loved you. I wonder why. It seems you were incapable of believing it was anything other than a lie. But I cried for you, my lost sad love, that I couldn't touch your heart, or bring sight to your eyes so blind, or tear your fears apart, or rid you of those bad, bad dreams, or the feeling you didn't belong. You belonged with me, in my protection, but I was not as strong as the demons that tormented you, night and day and night. I only hope that in the very end, you came to see some light. And so I do. Now, here's a list that I made. The first list is poems that I found very touching that I wanted to share with somebody, anybody. I wrote it down and stuck it in a notebook. There you go. And also a list of songs to listen to. So, the poems that I highly recommend, I'll give you 2 thumbs up, 1, 2, although I'm not Siskel or Ebert. We'll start with Edgar Allan Poe, because he was at the top of my list. Alone, Sonnet to Science, 2, that's dash dash. The Conqueror Worm, To One in Paradise, A Dream Within a Dream. I shared that one with you in another video under things that inspired me. She Walks in Beauty, George Gordon, Lord Byron. You Can Never Tell, Ella Wheeler Wilcox. Count That Day Lost, George Eliot. Pity Me Not, Edna St. Vincent Millay. My Life Closed Twice, Emily Dickinson. Many of her poems that I really, really love. 'Tis the Last Rose of Summer, Thomas Moore. I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, William Wordsworth. Commonplace, Susan Coolidge. Gather Ye Roses, Robert Louis Stevenson. My Love, Robert Burns. That's L-U-V-E. Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds, Shakespeare. A Welcome, Thomas O. Davis. Love Me Not for Comely Grace. Love, Anonymous. If Thou Must Love Me, Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Appraisal, Sarah Teasdale. I highly recommend poems by Sarah Teasdale, especially her songs. You should be able to find them on the internet. Just go to Google. It's Sarateasdale. Music, When Soft Voices Die, Percy Bysshe Shelley, great romantic poet. Who Has Seen the Wind, Christina Rossetti. I'm very fond of the Prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. I Thank You, God, E.E. Cummings. How Do I Love Thee, Elizabeth Barrett Browning. To Celia, Ben Jonson. Another early favorite, The Passionate Shepherd to His Love, Christopher Marlowe. Bedouin Song, Bayard Taylor. The Clod and the Pebble, William Blake. The Tongue, Philip Burrows Strong. Let It Be Forgotten, Sarah Teasdale. Nothing Gold Can Stay, Robert Frost. Highly recommend every one of those. And here are some songs that I thought people should listen to. And we start with from the album Come On, Come On by Mary Chapin Carpenter. Passionate Kisses, I'll Take My Chances, Not Too Much to Ask, which is a duet with Joe Diffie. The Bug, I wrote in parentheses, pretty much speaks for itself. Come On, Come On, Shut Up and Kiss Me. Stones in the Road, The Longing in Their Heart, Dimming of the Day. Steal Your Heart Away by Bonnie Raitt. Cool Clear Water. Shadow of Doubt, Feeling of Falling, Love Sneaking Up on You. From The Luck of the Draw by Bonnie Raitt, I Can't Make You Love Me. How true is that, huh? Not the Only One, One Part Be My Lover. Come to Me. From Little Queen by Heart, Treat Me Well, Say Hello, Cry to Me, Go On and Cry. Hot Stuff, The Greatest Hits of the Fabulous Thunderbirds. This tape is great, lyrical, humorous, and yet insightful. That's my little critique. Everything is Beautiful, which talks about the ideal world by Ray Stevens. Can't recommend that one enough either. If you haven't heard it, please go look up Ray Stevens' Everything is Beautiful, the original. So It Goes by Billy Joel. I Go to Extremes, and Shameless, all by Billy Joel, although Garth Brooks has a great version too of Shameless. Let's see, Who Am I, Make Me Think of You. That may be Billy Joel, I didn't write that down. Hopelessly, Body and Soul, Rick Astley. I am one person who absolutely loves being rickrolled. Do not mind it one little bit. I love Rick Astley, and I'm not afraid to say so. Radar Love by Golden Earring. Classic. Love it, love it. Makes me think of my honey. Melissa Etheridge, Like the Way I Do. Don't You Need, The Late September Dogs. Occasionally, Bring Me Some Water, and I Want You. Precious Pain. Chrome Plated Heart is actually really good. I wrote in parentheses, might hurt less if I had one. And Simon & Garfunkel's I Am a Rock and Bridge Over Troubled Water. Bob Seger's We've Got Tonight. Tony Braxton, Breathe Again. Absolutely beautiful video of that too. I highly recommend you look that up too. Maybe I'll share it later. Castles Made of Sand and Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. Love Jimi Hendrix. And The Wind Cried Mary's pretty good too. Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. And I wrote in parentheses, ha ha, makes me think of my life. Well, thankfully not anymore. I'm So Tired by the Beatles. Here Comes the Sun, Because, I love that. And Golden Slumbers, which is very pretty. Absolutely adore the Beatles and almost everything they did. Tina Turner, I Can't Stand the Rain. You've Got a Friend, and Fire and Rain by James Taylor. Those are all really, really good songs, and the poems I mentioned are really good. And I hope that you're having a good day. It's a beautiful day here in Indianapolis. I should have brought in some of my daffodils. I actually posted photos of them on Google and on Facebook. They're blooming and they're bright and sunny. Their happy little yellow faces make me happy. So anyway, peace and love, folks. Peace out. Talk to you later.